people do whatever they can to catch Friday Football Focus. The high-flying Santa Barbara Dons host Dos Pueblos in a must-win Channel League game for both. Santa Ynez entered undefeated, but would Lompoc shipwreck the Pirates' perfect season. Birds of a feather flock together. The undefeated Bishop Diego Cardinals host the undefeated Eagles from Reedley. And it's the commotion in Calabasas. Number 1 Camarillo in the north against the top-ranked Coyotes of the west. Like the World Series, Friday Football Focus is a fall classic.
Hey, I'm Danny Duffy, and you're watching Friday Football Focus.
Now, from the bleachers to the end zones, gridirons up and down the coast. From the largest sports team on local television. Live, Friday Football Focus.
All right, welcome to Friday Football Focus. I'm Mike Clan along with Senere de los Santos. I bet you're so glad to get off that 101 freeway.
Oh my gosh, I was a little nervous I would make it up here, but I did, and we have those highlights. We have 14 games from Morro Bay all the way to the showdown, the big one, Calabasas between Camarillo, those Scorpions, man. Now we start off in the Channel League crosstown rivalry game.
Sure do. All right, Santa Barbara hosting Dos Pueblos. This was pretty much an elimination game as far as the league title is concerned. Dons won the coin flip and marched right down the field. You figured DP's pass defense would have trouble keeping up with Santa Barbara's offense. Brent Payas, a couple of quick hitters of Mason Bigelow. 3rd and 5 on the Chargers 22. Payas with a dart to Bigelow. What a grab. Touchdown Dons. Payas 5 of 6 on the drive. 7-0 Santa Barbara. Now, a couple of FFF loyal viewers alerted me that in 1992, Sue Skandarian actually kicked for the Dons. So Aaliyah Hyatt, not the first girl to score for the Dons varsity team. Both Sue and Aaliyah, great soccer players. Sue with the UCLA, Aaliyah headed to North Carolina. Back to the action. Chargers, good-looking opening drive. Robert screened Blake Irwin. They noticed that Santa Barbara's defense has been vulnerable on the edge. This time, Irwin up the middle for a first down. Chargers going around the corner again. Kyle Bixner turns it upfield. Another Chargers first down. Knocking on the door, but hey, number 10, Jeremiah Nicholson with a big hit. Junior Garcia always around the ball. Scoops it up. Big stop for Santa Barbara. They go right back to work. Payas to Tick Jellison. They got the first down before he's rolled out of bounds. Payas screen to Sean Babcock. Well designed. Takes it inside the 10. Dons fans are feeling good. We reached the end of the first quarter. First play of the second quarter. You need some tough yards. Junior Garcia is your man. He bangs it across. 14-0 Santa Barbara. Junior's dad, Victor, always a proud papa. But just moments later, Dos Pueblos gets on the board. Nothing fancy, but it's Manny Nuuso. Manny being Manny. 2 weeks ago, he had 340 all-purpose yards. Here he races 79 yards for the touchdown, 14-7. And the Goleta fans that survived that freeway traffic enjoying that. Late second quarter, Dons on the move again. Babcock with some nice running to move the chains. Now, DP's defensive coordinator, Doug Caines, who teaches at Santa Barbara, was just the Dons head coach 2 years ago. His defense can't stop the Dons on 4th and 10 at the 31. Payas to Tick Jellison. Touchdown, Santa Barbara, 21-7. Dons win by the score of 35-14. They are now 5-3 in the year, 1-1 in the Channel League. The Dons' final regular season home game at Peabody Stadium next week against Buena. The next day, October 24th, from 4 to 8, they're having a fundraising barbecue to raise that money for the stadium. Smoke and Burn are performing. Hey, more Channel League action later in the show, but now to the Pac-5.
Oh, yeah. Tascadero was playing at Rigetti, and Friday Football Focus senior reporter Dave Alley was at the game, and he joins us live from the stadium. Hi, Dave.
Yeah, hi, Mike and Center Ray. You know, Rigetti, they were very happy last week to wipe the slate clean and begin league play. That came after a rough preseason. But you know what? They got a win over San Luis Obispo. That gave them a perfect 1-0 Pac-5 record and a tie for first place. Meanwhile, at Tascadero, they began league action tonight. They wrapped up their non-league portion of their schedule last week with a very impressive record of 5-1. The two programs renewing a series that has been played annually for more than 20 years. Each side came in with 6 wins apiece over the last 12 meetings. Opening possession, Warriors get the ball and march right down the field, converting a handful of third downs. DJ Freitas carrying the load. They would eventually cap off a 15-play, 6-minute, 17-second drive with a 2-yard touchdown by Freitas. Great start to the game for Rigetti, but just like the Warriors, Hounds answer back with a long drive of their own. Elijah Cooks finishes off an 11-play drive with a 1-yard plunge, 7-7 after 1 quarter. In the second quarter, Warriors pick up right where they left off at midfield. Pass to DeAndre Thomas, spins out of a tackle, takes it inside Greyhound territory. A few plays later, Warriors try to retake the lead on the field goal attempt, but Zach Quigley flies out of nowhere, blocks it down. That keeps the game all tied up at 7. Hounds get the ball inside their own 10. They begin yet another long drive. Carson Rickenberger in at quarterback, downfield to Cooks. Nice gain inside the Rigetti 30. 40 seconds later, inside the 10. Rickenberger rolls out, finds Mark Martin, who gets it just across the goal line. Hounds score late in the second quarter to take the lead 14-7 at the break. Homecoming at Rigetti, Talia Schmidt and Kyler Corral, your homecoming king and queen. Congrats to both. Move to the second half. All defense over the final 24 minutes. Thomas nowhere to run, brought down for a loss by Jordan Council. Then Atascadero with the ball. Rickenberger looking to pass downfield, but sacked instead by Zach Bird. Yards tough to come by for both teams. Warrior fans tried to get their team fired up, but the Hounds would have absolutely none of that. Terry Wolf sacking Chase Artopius. No points for either side in the second half. Atascadero goes on to win a tough one and a defensive battle. They beat Rigetti 14-7. Now, through the first 7 weeks of the season, we haven't seen a lot of close games. Most of the games have been decided by a wide margin. Not so here tonight. It was very nice to see a game not decided until the very end. It was also a little cold out here tonight, too, which we haven't seen. It felt like a football game after all. Now, with the win, Atascadero moves to 6-1 overall, 1-0 in the Pac-5. They'll go home. They'll play San Luis Obispo next week. As for Rigetti, they dropped to 2-5 overall, 1-1 in league play. They'll stay right here next week, but it doesn't get any easier. They'll face Arroyo Grande, ranked 33rd in the state. AG, by the way, off tonight. Reporting live in Orchid Day Valley for Friday Football Focus. Back to you, Center Ray.
All right, Dave. Yeah, we've been waiting for those chilly nights. Now to the Northern League, where last year's CIF champion, the Napomo Titans, were trying to start off league at 2-0. The Titans hosting the Santa Maria Saints, and we'll pick it up in the third quarter. Napomo up 24-3. Now, Napomo's quarterback Galvin Hall would hand it off to J.J. Ramirez. Now, he would slice and dice his way for the Titans' first down. Now, several plays later, Hall back to Ramirez again. And now from 6 yards out, he would go in for the touchdown. They now lead at 31-6, and the Napomo Cowboys, they're liking that, so they're posing for the camera. Saints looking to get something going here on 1st and 15. Sal Mendez handing it off to Joseph McCarty, and he punches through the hole to pick up 10 yards. Nice play there for the Santa Maria. But they would turn it over on downs. Fourth quarter on 4th down. The Titans fake the punt, and they fake out the Saints and our camera guy, but eventually we would catch up to Clemente Ramiscal, and he would tiptoe down the sidelines. Some moments later, Galvin Hall gives it to Ramirez yet again, and just like before, he would find the end zone from 20 yards out. That'd be a touchdown right there for the Titans. Napomo would go on to win it with ease, 38-3. Next up for the Titans is a big home game contest against Mission Prep, and Santa Maria will host Morro Bay. Now we head out to the Pirates at home in Morro Bay tonight as they battle against the Templeton Eagles. In the second quarter, game tied at 7. Templeton's quarterback Jordan Bernal handing it off to Michael Capelli, and he would take off 15 yards for the gain. Now 2 plays later, Bernal giving it to Nate Avery, who would take it down the sidelines and goes for a 40-yard run. He would go on in for a touchdown. Now they would miss the extra kick, so Templeton would go up 13-7. Later in the second, Bernal throwing it over to Capelli, who would pick up 18 yards on 3 plays later. It would be Jordan Bernal deciding to keep this one himself, and he would go on in for the score. Templeton now leading at 20-7, so we head to the second half. Late in the third, Bernal going up the middle to Jarrett Boots with a great catch for 25 yards. Now that would lead to this. A Capelli 30-yard touchdown as Templeton would go on to win this one big over Morro Bay, 41-13. Templeton is now 4-4 on the year and 1-1 in the Northern League. The Eagles are off next week.
All right, the Los Padres League's big matchup happened last night at Lompoc. Undefeated San Ynez trying to upset the Lompoc Braves. It's been quite a turnaround for the visiting Pirates, who, remember, won just one game last year. First quarter, and the home team strikes first. Chris Green, color of money, races 25 yards into the end zone. Lompoc up 7-0. They try and quickly remind San Ynez, who's the cream of the crop in the LPL. San Ynez has a burner as well. Senior Austin Vreeland, who's having a fabulous season, takes the handoff from near his own goal line. Upfield in a hurry, 70-yard run. Mark Morales saves a touchdown, tripped Vreeland up. That was a nice play, as the Pirates would have to settle for a field goal. Michael McCoy makes the 28-yarder, cut the deficit to 7-3. Late first half, Lompoc sophomore Toatawa, what a star, bounces off a tackle. He's into the end zone, 5 yards out, 14-3 Braves. Feeling good at the half. Now the Pirates trying to come out strong in the second half, but Richard Foster says, not on my watch. Foster, it's Australian for interception. He stops San Ynez's drive. Lompoc overwhelming the Pirates in the second half. Green scores his second TD of the game. He had close to 150 yards rushing. Lompoc knocks off San Ynez from the unbeatens in a big way. 42-3 is the final score. Very impressive. Lompoc 6-1 on the year, 1-0 in the LPL. Hey, they host St. Joseph next Friday. That should be a good one. Pirates, meanwhile, 7-1. They're 1-1 in league. They're at Pioneer Valley next Friday. In Lompoc tonight, the stadium's other occupant, Cabrillo, at home against Pioneer Valley. First quarter, Cabrillo has the ball. Quarterback Eli Mayu trying to get it to Evan Strom. But what you talking about, Willis? Nathaniel Willis intercepts the pass. Willis got the turnover, and Nathaniel Willis scores the touchdown. Pioneer Valley up 7-0. Beginning of the second quarter, Panthers quarterback Jared Rodriguez to Willis. He carries it 27 yards on the screen pass before he's brought down by DeAndre Sauceda. Now the Panthers would score a touchdown to lead 14-0. Cabrillo has the ball, but they're barely moving it. Brought down by a Panther. Mayu passing to Strom, but he's taken down by Daniel Morales, who forces the fumble. Big hit. Panthers pounce on it. That was the story of the game. Pioneer Valley winning this one by the score of 21-0. PV 1-1 in league. Cabrillo 0-2 in the LPL. They have their bye next week. Well, up next, highlights from Paso's game in San Luis Obispo. The Rooster was all over that one.
Yeah, and later, two undefeated squads. That would be Camarillo. They were taking on Calabasas. We got those highlights coming up a little later in the show.